Hello everyone, this is Techie Snake and today we'll be seeing the unboxing and review of Glorious Modular Mechanical Keyboard 10 keyless version. Now this keyboard has been around for a couple of years, but this one is a 2020 version with a small update. On the box, you have all the specs of the keyboard. At the back side, you can see the dimensions and other features. This is a pre-built edition which comes with Gateron brown switches and ABS double injection keycaps. It has removable switches, keycaps, and also a removable cable. On opening the box, you'll find the dust cover which can be used later on to protect your keyboard. My first impression of the keyboard is that it's really well built. It's very minimalistic with no visible branding, and the raised keys make the keyboard look really good and also easy to clean. The most surprising part of the keyboard was the Type-C port that comes in the 2020 refresh. I was amazed by this as I was expecting a micro USB port. Behind the keyboard, you have a slot for the keycap puller and height level adjustment legs. There are 4 rubber stickers at the edges to prevent the keyboard from slippage. Then we have some paperwork like stickers, Glorious product catalog and the manual. Here's the Type-C braided cable, and again Glorious did a great job with the Type-C refresh and it's a thumbs up for them. Then we have the extra grip stickers for the bottom of the keyboard. And the key switch puller. And finally we have some additional keycaps for the Windows key with the Glorious logo and a standard escape key to replace the red accent key that's already installed. Speaking of the build quality, it's really well built and rigid. It does not flex when trying to bend, and also the keys do not rattle or wobble when shaken. The front side of the keyboard has sandblasted aluminum faceplate that gives a premium and professional look. The rear side of the keyboard is made of plastic and should not matter much as we rarely see behind it. Being a 10 keyless keyboard, it's much smaller than full-size keyboards, and to put things in perspective, here's a side-by-side comparison with the Logitech G613. Now this form factor is great for people who don't really use the number pad very often, and also it gives your hand or mouse more space to move around. Dimensions wise, the keyboard is 335mm wide and 127mm deep. The height of the keyboard is 38mm with raised keys, and I recommend you to get a wrist rest for comfortable usage. Keep in mind there is no wrist rest included in the package, so you'll have to purchase it separately. The design is minimalistic with no huge bezels around the keyboard, which is really good. The 2020 refresh with the USB Type-C port is really applaudable given the fact that some of the bigger companies are still selling micro USB ports on their 2020 devices. The included 6 feet braided Type-C cable is great, and since it is a removable cable, it also gives some portability and also flexibility on customization with other third-party cables. There are no dedicated separate media keys, but you do have the function plus hotkeys, which is not a deal breaker. You can set up macros on all the keys and customize them using the software to your liking. The keyboard has full N key rollover and an option to switch to 6 key rollover. The pre-built edition keyboard comes with ABS double injection keycaps and Gateron brown switches, which is fine at this price point of $109, and the fact that they are hot swappable or replaceable should not bother anyone. The ABS keycaps with the pre-built edition are really good, with only one complaint that 1 or 2 of the keycaps have milkish prints on them. Now this might not be the case with all the keyboards, but I think Glorious should do some quality check on all their keyboard caps. The keycaps can be removed easily with the help of the keycap puller placed behind the keyboard, and to remove the key switches you can use the switch puller that also comes included in the package. Removal of key switches is very easy, taking less than 5 seconds per switch if done properly. Let's have a look at the pricing options on the website. The black color pre-built edition comes at around $110. You also have white color, but keep in mind the white color does not allow you to customize it further. Now let's go back to black and see what options we have for customization. You can select your layout and the form factor. You have several options for Gateron and coil switches. I'll choose the red Gateron. Then you can select different keycaps. You can also choose none if you prefer any other third-party keycap. So I will choose the black Aura. And finally you have O-rings to dampen the noise of the switches. After customizing, the price can reach around $143. The backlight has individually lit RGB LED lights with 16.8 million colors, and there are 18 special effects with one slot for user-defined effect. The RGB effects can be selected directly on the keyboard with the help of function and set of selected keys. You can also change the animation speeds, brightness settings using the keyboard. Now let's have a quick look at some of the RGB effects. Now let's have a quick look at the glorious keyboard software. At the bottom of the interface, you have the option to switch between different polling rates. You can select individual keys and change their function or even set up a macro. You have the option to preview RGB effects and even change their settings. In the custom mode, you can select individual keys and set them to specific colors. Now this is great for some games where you want to highlight certain keys. Then you have the option to save 3 different presets that can be switched very easily on the software. And finally, you have the option to set up different types of macros on the keyboard. In conclusion, overall the keyboard is really well built and it has a very clean and minimalistic look. Hot swappable keys make this keyboard really long lasting, as you can switch to different keys without having to change the entire board, and also saving some cost. Even the Gateron brown switches in the pre-built edition feel really good, but again this comes down to personal preference. Type-C removable cable is a great refresh, and this tells us that Glorious is serious about their stuff. The only feature I wish it had is the USB and headphone jack pass-through, but that would increase the cost, and at this price point, I believe this keyboard is more than justified.